people, welcome to another episode of Grand Football TV, and it is yours truly, Mr. Chick. How are we doing? Yes, so it is game week 6. We're going into game week 6, but before we go into game week 6, like I said, we are going to look at game week 5 and how as a community we fared in game week 5 for all the games. Yeah, so let's quickly run through game week 5 before we look at game week 6. Yeah, West Ham versus Chelsea. Well, the scoreline was Chelsea winning 3-0 away from home, and in as much as a few people got the right outcome, no one got the correct score of 3-0 to Chelsea. I think everyone expected that West Ham would definitely score in that game, which they ended up not doing. So yeah, that game finished 3-0 to Chelsea. So Aston Villa versus Wolverhampton Wanderers. This is like a Midlands derby, like I said last time, and Aston Villa came out 3-1 winners of that game. I got 0, guys. I went for Wolves. I thought Wolves would turn up, and just spoil the party, but they didn't. Well, they tried, but it didn't work. So yeah, there were a few people who got the 5 points, which goes to anyone who predicts the correct score in the game. Shout out to Chris, Dion, and OK, who got the prediction correct at 3-1. Well done. Fulham versus Newcastle. Well, I got the right outcome, but not the right result, and no one predicted the right, the correct score. So well done to everyone who got the right outcome, but not the right, score. Then we move on to the next game, Leicester versus Everton. That game finished 1 apiece. And we have a few people who actually predicted the right score for that one. We have Temizak, who got the 1-1 prediction correct. And we also have Yema, who also got the prediction of 1-1 correct. And then we move on to the next game, Liverpool versus Bournemouth. That's the only game, guys. I got the right score. So shout out to me. Yeah, I got 3-0. And shout out to Anu, who got 3-0 as well. And Chris and Dion and OK. These guys all joined me in getting the correct score for the Liverpool game. Yeah. Then the Southampton versus Ipswich. That one finished 1-1. I didn't get it, guys. I thought Ipswich would turn up, like I said, but they didn't. If you watch my other video, you would see what I'm talking about. Nah, they didn't. But shout out to Finn. And shout out to Chris, and shout out to Nyema. These are the guys who got the correct score for that game correctly. So they get the 5 points. And then Tottenham versus Brentford. So Tottenham went away with that one, winning 3-1 at the end after that early scare with the early goal by Brentford. But they ended up coming back and winning the game 3-1. Shout out to Chris and OK, who got the correct score. They are the only 2 people who got the correct score for that game. So shout out to them. Crystal Palace versus Man United. Guys, I was saying to all the Man United fans, I wasted 90 minutes of my time, watching that game. This is one of the games I watched at the weekend. And, they played well, but there was no end result. So it's still a bad game because there was no goals in it. So no one predicted that game to finish the way it finished. Which, are you surprised? Of course not. No one would have predicted this game to finish 0-0. Yeah, Brighton versus Nottingham Forest. Brighton versus Nottingham Forest. Oh, I just remembered, this is another game I got the correct score. So I went for the game to finish 2-2, and that is exactly how it finished. Yeah, so that's another game I got the correct score right. And then shout out to no one else, just me. Woo, shout out to me. Yeah, then the big one, Manchester City versus Arsenal. That's the star game of the weekend. Well, the second star game of the weekend. And if you get this one right, you don't just get the 5 points, you actually get 10 points. So shout out to Osita, who was very, very pleased with himself getting this 10 points. It's been a long time coming. Yeah, so he got the correct score, 2-2 on that one. And shout out to Nyema, who also got the correct score for the game, ending 2-2. So how did you guys fare? Let us know in the comment section. Did you get more than 2 correct? Did you get 3, 4? Nah, let's know. Let us know in the comment section. So we're going to be looking at game week 6. Game week 6. And a lot of games coming up. Very interesting games coming up. But let's quickly look at them. And before we start, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe this video, guys. If you're just joining us for the first time, you are welcome. We do this every week to try and look at all the games and see how every team is faring and, you know, give our own predictions. Obviously, they never come right, but we still do. Anyway, Newcastle versus Manchester City. What do you guys think? This is a big game, in my opinion. Manchester City, after that very, very intense game with Arsenal, would not be happy going straight into another tough game in Newcastle, because they have to travel to Newcastle, and the early kickoff on a Saturday is looking peak. So I've gone for a draw in this game. I still don't see City losing, but what I see is maybe a repeat of, is it last 2 seasons, I believe, where they got a 3-3 scoreline. I think this one will be a high-scoring game, and I see Newcastle. I would be happy if Newcastle can, you know, get over the line and win the game, but I see City just, you know, the team that they are, getting something out of the game because Erling Haaland's still in the team. So this one, I see it ending 3-3. That's my prediction. Arsenal versus Leicester. I see this one finishing with an Arsenal win. Arsenal win, nothing but an Arsenal win. They have to win this game. I know there are a few players light in different areas. Odegaard missing. Merino, obviously we haven't seen him anyway, missing. But I'm sure they'll still be able to do the job. Trossard should be back for this game after serving his 1-match ban against Bolton. So we'll see how this one goes. But I'm going for an Arsenal win. I'm going for a 2-0 win in this one. Yeah. Then we have Brentford versus West Ham. Both teams losing in their last fixtures. So I think one of them would come out all guns blazing. And I don't know, for some reason I'm leaning towards West Ham, you know, going to Brentford and getting a result. So I'm leaning towards Brentford winning this one 3-1. West Ham winning this one 3-1 away from home. West Ham winning 3-1 away from home. Chelsea versus Brighton Hove Albion. This one again, I see Chelsea, because Chelsea, they're looking good. They won comfortably in the Carabao Cup game, and they won, in fact, the last 3 games they've kept a clean sheet. So that's what would be keeping them going, saying, look, we're keeping clean sheets, we're playing well. So I see them going into this one, winning this game against Brighton. Brighton have started faltering. They started off really well, you know, looking like they were staying at the top of the table after 3 games, but they're starting to falter. They haven't won a game since then, since that draw against Arsenal. I don't think they've won a game. So yeah, this one, I see it being another game where they will not win, and Chelsea would go out 3-1 winners against Brighton. Everton versus Crystal Palace. Everton, they're bound to win a game soon. They're bound to win a game. I know Crystal Palace, their poor showing against Man United, they might want to step up away from home, but I see this one finishing in for Everton sneaking the win, 2-1. Nottingham Forest versus Fulham. I see Nottingham Forest winning this one as well against Fulham. I mean, Nottingham Forest, they're quite good at home, so I see them winning this one 2-1 at home. Wolves versus Liverpool. Liverpool have been playing really well since they lost to Forest, and I see them going to Wolves. Although Wolves, they're still wounded from that game in their Midlands derby, they might just pose a threat, and it explains why I've gone for a draw in this one. I've gone for this game to finish 2-2. Yeah. Then we go to the next game, Ipswich versus Aston Villa. I see Aston Villa winning away from home against Ipswich. Ipswich have been doing really well, but this will be too tough for them, and I see them losing 2-1 away from, at home. They're losing 2-1 to Aston Villa. Then the big one for the weekend, the star game, Man United versus Tottenham. Man United versus Tottenham. And I'm going for this game to finish in a draw. I'm going for another big scoreline, 3-3. I'm going for this one to finish 3-3. Then I'm going for the South Coast derby, Bournemouth versus Southampton. And I'm going for this one to finish in a draw, 1-1. I'm going for them to finish 1-1 in this game. Let us know in the comment section, guys, what are your predictions for Game Week 6? Do you think Tottenham can do it away from home? Do you think Liverpool can do it away from home? Do you think Manchester City can do it away from home? There are some big calls this weekend, but we'll see how that one pans out. Okay, that brings us to the end of our show today. I hope you've enjoyed it, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye for now.
Don't check this.